Hello, welcome. Okay, we're gonna go live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our May monthly free training here inside our Busy Moms Fitness, Nutrition, Mindset, and Accountability group. Welcome, welcome for all of you who are new to this community, whether you're a busy mom or a busy woman or just a busy individual, and you're looking for some tips and tricks and support to help you move forward in your health and wellness journey. You are in the right place. So, for those of you who are new, I do always like to kind of share a little bit about what is happening in this group. So, on a weekly basis, you'll see me post some social media types of posts. I'll also promote different programs that are happening. The other thing that you could always look for on the first Thursday of every single month at noon Eastern Standard Time, you can tune in live here in Facebook. If you are turning in live right now, drop live in the comments below. Let me know you're here, who you are, where you're from, and why you decided to tune into today's live training. That first live training of every single month changes from month to month. So we've got 5 pillars that we focus on. We focus on sleep, stress, exercise, nutrition, and then our mindset. So each month we choose a different pillar. This month we are focusing on nutrition, which I'm super excited because it's going to pair really well with something that I am offering this summer. So, before we dive into today's training, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. I am back to teaching in person classes come June 4th. I am so freaking excited. I have paired up with Acme Home Exteriors. We've worked together to allow me to use their space, which is a big kind of warehouse space with a big garage door. So the summer will be awesome with the garage door open. We'll be inside, outside, moving our bodies. Wednesdays starting June 4th from 5:30 to 6:15 p.m. So, things that you will need when you come to class are a mat and a set of weights. It is concrete, so keep that in mind. If you've got a really thin mat, bring an extra towel for under your knees. If you got to do anything on your knees, if you've got resistance bands, bring them. But if you don't have them, that's okay. Just one set of weights and a mat. That's all you need. These classes, these summer strength training boot camp classes, are for all levels. So, whether you are a beginner, you've never worked out, you've been too afraid, and you want some guidance and you want some support, and you want a community of women and people who are like super excited to join, sign up for classes. I'm going to tell you more here in a little bit. But if you are somebody who's advanced, like you've been lifting a ton and you're just looking for something different to try, these bootcamp classes are also for you. So anywhere from beginner, never worked out, all the way to advanced. So, some things to remember. We've got 2 sessions. We have session 1 that runs June 4th through July 9th, and session 2 that runs from July 16th through August 20th. All of them are on Wednesdays. You have 2 options pricing wise. If you are ready to commit to a full 6 weeks or all 12, you are going to be purchasing a package, which there's a link above this live video for you to kind of see a little bit as I'm following along here of when you purchase the package or a session, whether it's session 1 or session 2, you get access to class, you get accountability throughout the week for stretching, mobility, and hydration. And then you also, if you miss class, so if you're like, oh, I can come to week 1, but I can't come to week 2, but I can come to week 3 and 4, week 2, you will get a 30-minute strength training class that you can do at home on your own time so you do not miss a beat. So you are still staying on track and focused, even if you can't make it to class. So, keeping that in mind, you are going to get the most bang for your buck if you sign up for either the first 6 weeks, the second 6 weeks, or the entire 12 weeks. If you're like, I really can't commit to anything like that, I really just want to come once or twice this summer, you can always do drop in. Cash or Venmo on site, show up day of with all your things, pay cash or Venmo, and you are all set to go. But that's all you get when you just do drop in. So I like to share that. Also, I was originally going to cancel or end our early bird last night at midnight. I decided because of this training that I did not want to do that, that I really wanted to wait to close our early bird doors until Sunday at midnight because I wanted to offer it to you guys here inside this community. So, keeping that in mind, if you have been kind of on the edge or you thought you missed your chance, I have extended a special offer to early bird sign up for classes by Sunday at midnight. After Sunday at midnight, prices are going up. So you're still going to get the best bang for your buck by signing up front instead of just doing drop-in rate, but that price is going to increase just a little bit. So remember, link is up above this video, and I will also drop it in the comments after this video is done. If you have any specific questions, let me know. Once you click on that link, you're going to get all the information you need, and then when you push register now is when you'll see the different pricing options. So let's get into today. I am really excited because today's training pairs really well as we come into spring, summer, these workout boot camp classes, things like that. We're going to be talking about fueling our body for success. And things we're going to cover today: pre and post workout nutrition, super important things we forget about. How to balance our meals and snacks for all day energy, hydration secrets, things that I like to remember for myself and I teach my clients, and then how we can fuel our bodies for different workouts. And the reason I have that last combo or that last section is because in our first section, where we're going to talk about pre and post workout nutrition, I want you to focus primarily on strength training. Strength training is not the only type of training that you are going to be doing. So at the end, I'm going to give you an overview of how to fuel for different types of training. So, once again, if you are tuning in live right now, make sure to drop a live in the comments below. Let me know who you are, where you're from, what made you jump on. And if you have any additional questions as we are going through, please ask them. Drop them below. I am going to try to be looking at the comments, but if I miss them in the moment, no worries. I will get to them after. So, as we talk about pre and post workout nutrition, pre workout nutrition is what we do before our workout. So, I've got a few little bullet points for you here today. Number one, if you are having a big meal, you want to make sure you're eating it 2 to 3 hours before your training, before your session. And it's going to consist of carbs, protein, and a little bit of fat. And that's going to be that normal general meal that I've been teaching you how to eat, making sure we've got healthy fats, we've got a good source of protein, and we've got carbohydrates. And those carbs can be either fruits, vegetables, or actual starchy carbs. 30 minutes before your workout, we want to choose easily digestible carbs and some protein. So, this can be a banana and some peanut butter or nut butter. It can mean a protein smoothie. And when I say smoothie, it's not just protein and milk. We're making sure we've got a banana in there, some fruit, things like that. And that's 30 minutes before. The reason is those bigger meals, we want some time for our body to metabolize that. 30 minutes before, we want to get some energy in us. And the reason we don't want just that carbohydrate for a strength training workout is so a lot of times we are moving our body more than 30 to 45 minutes. Maybe it's closer to an hour. We're also exerting a lot of energy while we're strength training. So remember, if we think about carbs, carbs tend to process in our body over a course of 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the person. Well, if all I'm having is a carbohydrate and I have no protein to follow it up with, I'm gonna start to drag towards the end of my workout. So that protein's gonna help keep us fueled till the end of your workout. So 30 minutes before, easily digestible carbs with some protein. If you are a morning workouter, this is a question I get a ton. Should I eat? Should I not eat? Well, first off, listen to your body. If you're somebody who gets sick when you don't eat, make sure you eat. If you're someone who gets sick when you eat, I would then have you look at what are you eating? What is the quantity in which you're eating? Maybe we're not choosing the right thing. Because in reality, we do need a little bit of something. I'm not saying go and make your big breakfast. But I'm saying you should have a little bit of something because we're coming off of sleeping for the most part and we need energy. So, half a banana, a protein shake, applesauce pouch, protein in your coffee does not matter. Something is better than nothing. So, listen to your body on the quantities in which you want to fuel it with. For me, something light is perfect. I do my bigger meal after when I'm a morning workouter. When we're talking about our macros, and they matter. So, you heard me talk about carbs, protein, fat, digestible carbs, protein, things like that. Carbs are our fuel. So it is super important that we have those carbohydrates to fuel our body to give us energy. It's also important that we have that protein to help build and repair those muscles, especially when we are strength training. And then we want ease and then we want to go easy on our fat and our fiber right before lifting. because those are harder for our body to process and metabolize. And really, we want to keep it easy for our body. We want to use our energy for those lifts to get stronger. We don't want to use it for sitting here and trying to metabolize a lot of fat and fiber. Like, not the time for it. Different time and place. We want that, but just not pre workout. So, post workout, we want to think about refueling within 30 to 60 minutes after training. So, this is going to help support our muscle repair and our recovery. So, let's say workout ends at 10. By 11, I want you to make sure you've had something in your system. And when I say something, we want to have both protein and carbs. So, in the beginning, where we said we had carbs with a little bit of protein, we're going to reverse that in that post workout. We're going to have protein with a little bit of carbs. Two reasons here. Protein, we want 20 to 30 grams to rebuild that muscle. Carbs, we need post workout to replenish the energy. We just depleted our energy stores. We need to replenish them. So, having carbohydrates after, a lot of us, we get caught in, oh, protein only, protein only. Not necessarily. We need carbohydrates because if not, we can have protein. But remember, protein is the last thing our body taps into: carbs, fat, protein. So it's going to take it a little bit longer to process and give us that energy from that protein. So that carb kind of kickstarts us, rebuilds our energy stores, and then it builds into that protein, which helps repair those muscles. We also, directly after workout, we want to keep that fat low. What that's going to do is it's going to speed up if by keeping it low, it's going to speed up our digestion and our nutrient absorption, which we want our body to absorb those carbs. We want them to absorb that protein and start to repair those muscles. Why it matters to eat after a workout. I think we are all so go, go, go that we tend to just like done with the workout. Now I'm going to shower. Now I'm going to do this. And it's been hours sometimes in between a workout and fueling again. Skipping post workout can slow our recovery, increase our soreness, and limit strength and our muscle gains. So, if you are somebody who has felt like you're at a plateau and you're not getting any stronger, or you've been going into your lifts and you're feeling really depleted, are you eating before? Are you repairing your muscles after? Most of the time, we aren't to the ability of, yeah, but it's like a couple hours after. No, 30 to 60 minutes right after that workout. Have some grab and goes in your bag. Like, those Fairlife protein drinks are fantastic. Those are a really good grab and go source of protein. A lot of gyms have different brands of those, but having something, having some sort of bar maybe in your bag, things like that. So, if you have any questions on pre and post nutrition, drop them in the comments. And I'm not used to being in here for these lives. I love it. I'm in my podcast studio. So, next one, we're going to move on to balancing your meals and snacks for all day energy. So, remember, we want to make sure that we have balanced meals. And what that means is a carb, a fat, and a protein. And remember, those healthy fats are really only the size of our thumb. So, they're not taking up the entire portion of the plate. It's usually something we are cooking in, or some avocado on the side, or they're in our dairy products, things like that. So I heard this and I really liked it. Is we want to make sure we're building each meal with the 3 Ps: protein, produce, and a portion of carbs. And this is more specifically on those days when we are expending more energy, we are lifting heavier, we're going for longer runs. Because on days when we're sitting on the couch on Sunday doing absolutely nothing, we don't need as much fuel as those days when we are burning extra calories. So, really make sure you've got your protein, your produce, and a portion of carbs. We want to make sure that we are not skipping meals. A lot of us, especially as women, we go long stretches of time without eating. We eat breakfast, we eat lunch, we eat dinner, and they're all very spread apart. I want you to start to focus on eating every 3 to 4 hours, 4 hours at the absolute max. I am somebody who I'm more of like a 2.5 to 3.5 hour eater. And if I'm not there, I can tell my energy is low. I'm exhausted. My stomach starts to make noises. All these things. I start to get hangry, which it's no fun to be around me when I'm hangry, things like that. So, really making sure that we are eating every 3 to 4 hours, absolutely max to prevent crashes. And it doesn't mean we need big meals every 3 to 4 hours, but that means balanced snacks, making sure we've got a protein and a carb. We can do Greek yogurt and berries. We can do turkey and crackers. We can even add a healthy fat in there and do a cheese stick with it. I just had a tuna packet and a cheese stick. It was a really quick grab and go thing that I had before I jumped on here because I knew I had been missing a meal and I was pushing my limit and I knew my energy levels were getting slow or low. So I made sure to grab something. We also want to make sure that we hydrate often, which we will move into hydration tips here in a second. But even the slight bit of dehydration can drain our energy. So personally, I aim for 90 plus ounces of water a day. Females, you should be focusing on 60 to 90. If you are not getting there, figure out what your baseline is, track your water for a week, figure out your average, and then if it's 30 ounces, make it 35 ounces or make it 40 ounces the next week and go for getting that intake intake up. So I keep this water bottle with me. Thank you to the Idea people. I love my new branded water bottle. I keep this on me. This is 36. I also have my Simple Modern, which I can drop a link if you'd like. Just drop water in the comments below. I'll drop the link to my Simple Modern, which is 32. And the best part about both of them is they don't leak and I can throw them everywhere. And yes, I got on the Stanley train for a bit. It's a good at home water bottle, but not a good travel water bottle. And to be honest, we are moving a ton. We are out and about. We need something that is realistic for us to be able to take with us that isn't a mess. A lot of other things can be a mess. Our water shouldn't be. So, hydration, one of the biggest things you can do, and this is something that I do for myself too, because I do tend to fall into this. If you are somebody who kind of sips on coffee all morning long, you just really like the warmth, you've warmed up your cup of coffee a few times, um, then you're not starting to drink your water until like noon, 1 o'clock, and then you're like, crap, I have 90 ounces to get in before bedtime tonight. What I recommend is as your coffee is brewing in the morning, take that coffee cup, fill it up with water, drink 16 to 20 ounces of water before that coffee even goes in your cup. What that's going to do is it's going to kind of get you a little bit ahead. If you're someone who is good at drinking all morning, you're just adding some more ounces in. So it's a really good tip to making sure that you are getting your hydration in and not letting that coffee. That was totally me this morning. I noticed that I was sipping on coffee and I hadn't drank very much of my water. This is still my first one and it is 12:19. Very unlike me, but there are some mornings it was rainy out today. It was rainy, chilly, all that. I'm going to continue to sip on my coffee a little bit longer because it's comforting. We want to make sure that we are also sipping throughout the day and not just during our workouts and not just at the end of the day when we feel like we have to play catch up. So, with that, what I want you to remember is think about your ounces. 60 to 90 ounces is your goal. Kind of break that up of, okay, if I need to set an alarm every hour to go off, and when that alarm goes off, I take a sip, go ahead, take a sip. The other thing you can do, take that water bottle, like I mentioned, literally just like keep it in front of you, keep it in the way, and you will be more likely to pick it up. Put a sticky note on your laptop that says drink water. Anytime you get up to move to go to the bathroom, take a sip of water. Anytime you eat, take a sip of water. Sip throughout the day rather than sitting and guzzling, especially towards the end, because it's gonna start to affect your sleep. And we've had some sleep episodes on the Empower Her Wellness podcast, and definitely something that you do not want it to be interrupting is our sleep because of the importance of it. And then if you are somebody who feels like you're drinking a ton of water, you're still like dehydrated and you're always craving water, even if you're drinking a gallon plus, we got to get you some electrolytes. Or if you're like drinking water, but I just had a really high intense workout, or I was outside sweating in the garden, or I was just sweating a ton, we got to make sure we get some electrolytes. That can be salt, that can be liquid IV, that can be Element, Drip Drop. There's a ton of different brands. I've got one on Amazon. I forget the name of it, but I really like it because it's not super sweet. Just drop electrolyte in the comments below, and I will send you the link to the one that I found on Amazon that I really like. The price point was pretty good too. So yeah, those are your water tips. Stay hydrated, drink your water. It's not that hard. I promise you, you can do it. If you do anything out of today's thing, I want you to drink your water. Finally, let's get into how to fuel for different types of workouts because as I mentioned, that pre and post workout nutrition that I talked about, I structured that specifically for strength training because we've got that summer strength training boot camp coming up, and I want you to know how to fuel your body going in as well as fuel your body coming out of that class because it's going to be fun. And there's days where it's going to feel a little bit easier, and there's days where it's going to feel a little bit more challenging because that is what it takes to build confidence and strength and to help us feel empowered. So, with that, if we are strength training, we're going to go back to those first steps of eat carbs and protein before and after. Banana with a protein shake that's going to help build and repair. That is what we focused on in the beginning. Go back to the beginning if you want to re-listen. Cardio workouts. So, we want to focus on easily digestible carbs beforehand. So, toast, fruit, this is for sustained energy because our body needs that extra burst of energy for longer periods. So we don't need a ton of protein. We more need those easily digestible carbs. It will also make us so we're not like crampy and uncomfortable. Have you ever like ate a big meal and then like, I'm gonna go run or I'm gonna go bike and then our side hurts? We're also, there's some other things that fall into that, but sometimes we're just digesting things. So really easily digestible carbs is a great thing to do when we are going to do cardio workouts. If we are going to be doing a long or intense session, so 60 plus minutes, I want you to think about what are things that we could fuel ourselves with during. So, for instance, when I ran 225Ks and a half marathon, we had those little goo packets and gummies, those things. I've watched a bunch of marathoners and things like that. People still use those, but now people use actual candy because it tastes better and it's got the same amount of quick carbs. But thinking about what can we have, whether it's an energy chew mid-workout or it's a sports drink, something like that, quick carbs, giving us that sugar to keep that body going, giving it the energy it needs. Unless you are somebody who is going on a long run, like this isn't needed in a 30-minute workout. Like I said, this is 60 minutes plus for long or intense sessions. And then let's look at our low intensity or recovery days. So these are days where you could just be going on a light walk or you're just not doing anything. This is when we want to keep our meals balanced. This is when we want to go back to that basics and foundations of what I have shared with you for years and years now of making sure we've got a protein, we've got a carb, which can either be a carbohydrate, it can be a vegetable, or it can be a fruit, and then we want a little bit of healthy fat. It's going to help support our recovery, support our hormones, and it's going to make our bodies feel good and give it the energy it needs to do what it needs to do that day without over fueling or over consuming. So, based on what you're doing that day depends on how we need to fuel our body. And it can get complicated. So, start with the basics and you can always add more. So, knowing that if you took anything away from today, I want you to take away that it is so important to fuel your body for movement, for recovery, and not just to get through the day. And if you're somebody who's been working out a really long time and you've hit a plateau or you've been in a plateau for a while, let's dial in your nutrition. Let's look at your pre-workout nutrition, your post-workout nutrition. And if you are somebody who's like, I'm ready to try it all. Don't try it all. Pick one, drop it in the comments. Let me know the one thing that you are going to focus on or implement after today's call. Last couple things. Remember, Summer Strength Training Boot Camp starts June 4th. I have extended early bird access for those of you who tune in today until Sunday at midnight. So there's nothing special you need to do. Just click that link above, jump in, push register now or sign up now. I forget what the button says. And then it will take you to the pricing page. Sign up. After that, prices do go up. If you are somebody who's like, Morgan, I don't want group stuff, I want more individual, drop Kickstart in the comments below. That is our 90-day Kickstart program where we build the foundation of your nutrition, your exercise, your sleep, your stress, and your mindset. And we slowly build on that through those 90 days, setting you up for success. And finally, remember, Facebook is now changing their rules. So after 30 days, this video will no longer be in our community. But don't worry, make sure that you click the link in the comments to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All of these lives do get reproduced onto that YouTube channel. So if you're ever thinking, I want to go back and watch that, I wanted to share that with a friend, or oh, she dropped that link, can I still get in? Things like that, go ahead and check our YouTube. I will put that down below. But you've got 30 days of watching it in here. And if there's anybody you want to tag that they should have watched this, make sure to tag them as well. So until next time, have a fantastic day. I know it's rainy here today, and we're maybe wanting a little bit more warmth and not as much outside time because it's kind of gross. But we mowed our lawn this weekend, and our lawn definitely needed some rain today. So until next time, I will see you all then.